You're standing on a crowded train platform in Tokyo, winter air cutting through your coat. Everyone around you looks exhausted. Nobody's speaking. Just the sound of shoes scraping against concrete, phones buzzing, train announcements echoing overhead. Then, somewhere behind you, you hear another sound. Slow, wet, dragging across the ground. Teke, 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 teke. At first, you ignore it, because cities are full of strange noises. But then the crowd around you starts getting quieter, people turning their heads toward the tunnel. And deep inside the darkness, you see something moving, not walking, dragging itself forward. Long black hair stuck to its face, pale fingers clawing across the platform. And where its lower body should be, there's nothing. Just a trail of blood disappearing into the dark tracks behind it. Then suddenly, it lifts its head and starts moving toward you impossibly fast. Tonight, we are going to talk about Teke Teke. Welcome to the podcast you can't unhear. December in Japan feels different somehow. The air gets painfully dry. Train windows fog up from people breathing inside packed commuter cars. By 5 p.m., the sky already looks almost black. And in stories like this, winter always makes everything feel lonelier. Shiho was 16 years old, half Japanese, half American. And honestly, sometimes that alone was enough to make school feel exhausting. Not openly violent every day, just small things constantly. Teachers assuming she caused problems first. Classmates treating her like she didn't fully belong anywhere. Too foreign for some people, too Japanese for others. The kind of loneliness that doesn't leave bruises, but slowly wears holes into you anyway. That morning, she stepped outside into freezing air, while her mother reminded her not to forget her father's birthday cake after school. Buy it early, her mum warned, and don't get stuck during rush hour. But Shiho already knew she'd be late, because after class, she and several students had been assigned punishment duty cleaning the school drainage canals. Officially, it was because of cheating. But Shiho never actually cheated. Wrong place. Wrong moment. The notes got passed into her hands right as the teacher looked up. And once suspicion already exists around someone, people stop looking very carefully for the truth, especially kids, especially schools. By 3 p.m., the winter sun already looked weak and grey above the schoolyard. The drainage canals smelled awful. Cold, stagnant water. Rotting leaves. Thick green sludge growing along the concrete walls. The students dragged heavy metal covers aside one by one, scraping mud into buckets while their fingers went numb from the cold. Nobody wanted to be there. You can feel the emotional atmosphere turning uglier as the evening gets darker. Because humiliation likes audiences. One of the boys, Katsu, finally snapped. He slammed his shovel into the sludge and started screaming at Shiho. "This is your fault." A pure Japanese person wouldn't have gotten caught. And the terrifying thing is, nobody stopped him. That's what always makes bullying feel so much crueler. Not just the person hurting you, but the silence around them. Then Katsu scooped up a shovel full of freezing drain sludge and threw it directly into Shiho's face. Cold slime. Rotting water. the smell instantly filling her nose. And for a few seconds, everything just stopped. The class burst into laughter. Someone pointed. Another student covered their mouth, trying not to laugh too loudly. I think moments like that stay with people forever, not because of physical pain, but because humiliation in front of a crowd does something deep to the human brain, especially when you're 16. Especially when you already feel alone. Shiho screamed at them, and she ran. Straight through the school gates, into the darkening streets, crying so hard she could barely breathe. By the time she reached the station, rush hour had already started. Tokyo stations during rush hour almost don't feel human sometimes. Just endless bodies moving in every direction. Shoes striking concrete. Announcements echoing endlessly overhead. Nobody making eye contact. Everybody exhausted. Shiho sat crying on the platform, drained sludge drying across her coat and scarf. People stared at her, moved away from her, pretended not to notice her. Then suddenly, she remembered the cake, her father's birthday. And honestly, that detail hurts the most to me. Because even after everything, she still wanted to make it home. Still trying to be a daughter. Still trying to hold on to normal life. She rushed to the bakery. But when she entered, the owner looked at her disgustedly and refused to let her stay inside while they prepared the order. So, Shiho stood alone outside, in the freezing cold, waiting for the cake box while strangers passed by pretending not to stare. That kind of loneliness feels very specific, like the entire world quietly agreeing you don't belong. By the time she returned to the station, it was chaos. Rush hour at full force. Crowds pressing shoulder to shoulder near the edge of the platform. People shoving past each other trying to catch trains before the doors closed. Shiho held the cake tightly with both hands, trying not to drop it, trying not to get pushed, trying not to cry again. But the crowd kept moving around her like ocean currents. Someone bumped her shoulder. Another commuter shoved past from behind. And suddenly, she lost her footing. No free hands to grab the railing. No space to recover balance. Just one horrible second of slipping forward and falling directly onto the tracks. The train driver slammed the emergency brakes. Too late. Steel screaming against steel. People screaming. The sound echoing violently through the tunnel. Then, silence. Afterward, the station workers cleaned everything quickly. That's another thing that feels eerie about train stations. No matter how horrific something is, the trains eventually start running again. The crowd moves again. Life continues. As if nothing happened. Shiho's parents were destroyed by the loss. Their only child. Gone in seconds. I really don't think parents ever fully recover from something like that. The house becomes too quiet afterward. Every room feels wrong. But her classmates? Most of them moved on almost immediately. Some even joked about her death the next day. That part feels more disturbing than the ghost story itself sometimes. How quickly cruelty becomes normal inside groups. The following evening, those same students stayed late finishing the drain cleaning. The winter sky already completely black above the schoolyard. The canals looking even darker than before. Cold wind moving through empty streets. By the time they reached the station, the platforms were almost deserted. No crowds anymore. No announcements. just fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. And then they heard it. Teke, teke, teke. A scraping sound echoing from deep inside the tunnel. Metallic. Wet. Slow at first. The students looked at each other nervously. One of them laughed awkwardly, trying to kill the tension. Then the sound came again. Closer. Teke, teke. From deep inside the darkness, something started dragging itself forward. At first, they thought it was a person crawling. Then it moved beneath the station lights. Long black hair. Pale skin. Fingers pulling itself forward impossibly fast. And no lower half of the body. Just blood. A huge scythe scraping sparks across the concrete beside her. The students started screaming, running. She launched herself forward using her arms, fast enough to catch them almost instantly. One student slipped near the stairs. Another froze completely. And then the station just filled with screaming. By the time police arrived, the platform was covered in blood. Bodies torn apart. And no sign of Shiho anywhere. Only long scrape marks disappearing back into the tunnel darkness. That's where the legend of Teke Teke supposedly began. The sound her body made dragging itself across the ground. Teke. Teke Teke. And honestly, what makes this story linger isn't just the ghost itself. It's the sadness underneath it. Because before she became a monster, Shiho was just a lonely teenage girl trying to make it home with a birthday cake, trying to survive one more humiliating day, trying to belong somewhere. And maybe that's why Japanese urban legends feel so melancholic sometimes. The ghosts are rarely born from pure evil. Usually, they're born from loneliness, humiliation, isolation, pain that had nowhere else to go. So if you ever find yourself alone on a train platform late at night and you hear something scraping slowly through the tunnel behind you, maybe don't turn around immediately, because if you see her, it's already too late. Have a safe trip home tonight, guys. And I'll see you on the next episode of You Can't Unhear.